entry into the paralegal career, okay? Number one is you have to be 100% perfect and ready to go. Not true. What I tell everybody is, do you have basic, strong office skills? Do you know how to file paperwork? Do you have strong Microsoft Word skills? Now, when I say strong, I don't mean just knowing how to set margins or tabs. I need you to learn advanced skills like table of contents and table of authorities. But for your basic skills, tabs and margins, um, embolding, all the basic things. You can go on YouTube and get wonderful training right there. You don't have to pay a dime for that. Okay? So get those strong office skills. If you're deficient in any of those areas, become proficient. Okay? And if you want to take a class to learn it and you feel more comfortable with that, then go do it. You know, I did that for legal terminology. There was a class offered in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Took the class and felt confident about it, but I still had a lot to learn. You can, make sure that you add that to your resume when you know advanced skills within a certain software, okay? So do that for yourself, but you don't have to be 100% perfect. You will not go in the law firm knowing everything there is to know, not as a new person. Whether you go to school, whether you have a certificate, or whether you have no formal higher education at all, you'll be just fine. Because it takes somebody who wants to learn, who wants to do well, and it's how you think about yourself and whether you want to look at yourself as building a career or do you want just a 9-to-5 job for a paycheck. That's the difference between the two people that go into this career. You'll see a lot of snarkiness and sarcasm on the internet about people who are paralegals and they're not enjoying it. But that's very common. But understand that those are people that need to change where they work or change careers altogether. So you don't have to be 100% perfect. Number two is, is it required that you have higher education? Well, listen to the rest of this video. Thanks for your question. The answer to that question will be in this video. That's for you to decide once I cover it. That's the next step I'm going to cover. But it's your decision. Okay. Do I say you must have a higher degree? No, but listen to what I said in the first part of this video about what you need to bring to the table. Okay, so education, do you need to have a 2-year degree? Do you need to have a certificate? Do you need to have a bachelor's or a master's to be an administrative professional for the attorney? No. So, yeah, but you can take, first of all, understand that you can take that ad, and I'm not going to go into depth on ads right now, but you can take looking at those ads and ask, should that stop me from applying? If they're asking for 3 to 5 years, you never apply to those because you don't have what it takes. And I didn't have what it would take when I went into the field. I knew nothing about the legal field. So there's a lot to learn. And there's some legal knowledge you should have before you go into this. Does that mean you learn all that? No. In school or with a certificate? No. What you need to learn is how to help the attorney, because we're not going into the field as baby attorneys. That's not what a paralegal is. The paralegal is an assistant to the attorney, and the attorney needs for the paralegal to help him or her. There are lawyers who hire people without education. The There are lawyers who hire people with education. It's not just one way across all of the paralegal career. It is absolutely not. So they will hire people, as you just pointed out, from all different walks of life. And that's up to the attorney. So if I were looking to hire somebody and they had an attitude of, I'm going to get the job done and I'm going to learn as fast as I can. Well, that's the attitude I had going into this, with a high school education and maybe 2 college classes under my belt. I was a stay-at-home mom until I opened my own business, and then I closed that and then went into the legal field after kind of checking other avenues out that wasn't working out, frankly. And I went in because my aunts were in this field and decided to try it. Had no idea what it would be like. But I learned on the fly, and I worked trials right away. Got that under my belt and was able to trade off on it. So how could I go in this with just that? I had strong office skills. I'm not there to be an attorney. Yeah, well, the internships, honestly, you have to understand that some places will be very good at offering internships, but in some cases, the insurance company doesn't want employees there who are not full-time employees, and not because it's just they're not too thrilled with that, and they'll give the attorneys a hard time. You'll see very few law firms offering internships. The lawyers like to bring on baby attorneys straight out of law school to mentor them, and they really, really love doing that. Okay, now when they come out of law school, they're in the same boat as paralegal students who come out of this paralegal studies program. Neither person, here's the baby attorney, here's the baby paralegal. Neither person has been taught the practical side of helping the attorney. The question you have to answer in your head is, how am I going to help that attorney in the office? How am I going to do that? What I said in the beginning was your office skills have to be very strong. And that means knowing Microsoft Word and maybe Excel, beginning Excel, maybe beginning PowerPoint. It depends on what your attorney needs, but I'd do overkill on that a little bit and put it on your resume. Okay? Well, I think you learn, you said you didn't learn anything. I think you learn a lot that you can bring to the table and that it'll mesh into the law firm. But it's the practical side that's missing, that we work on every day, that we have to do as managers of, how, online people will talk about content. Marketers will talk about, we have to put content up every day. Well, the paralegal manages all that content in the law firm. What does that mean? It means on the computer. It means the hard files. Pretend this is a file. We're making sure everything is working smoothly, and we're making sure that the attorney knows when things come through email from the court, and apprising the attorney of something new has occurred, and where do we stand on cases, because we know the cases in many instances better than the attorney. Again, it depends on the attorney, but most attorneys who are wise will tell you that their paralegals we have our heads inside the cases so much. You are driving the management And when I say management, I mean management of the cases. You are driving that as a paralegal in the law firm. So to think that you're going to go in there and they're going to teach you, and also that you're going to get that from a certificate program or from school, it does not happen in most cases. I'm not going to say 100% of the schools neglect to teach that, can't say that, but that's been my experience from feedback from former students. Okay, so what's the first step is, if you're deficient in Microsoft Word, fix that. I would learn how to submit your resume and cover letter and not send out 80 to 100 resumes and cover letters and hope something sticks. I would encourage you to take my class in September, and it will go for 6 months, but you'll have access to everything right away when you enroll. You need to go through all that and learn additional things, and get some legal knowledge that I teach you so that you can add it to your resume and up your game. I mean, you could go through it much faster than 6 months, but you have to put into practice what I'm teaching you, and then add it to your resume. Create a drop dead killer cover letter that goes with your resume, so that you get their attention and you are saying to them, I know this now, I know how to do this, and hopefully, can't guarantee it, but hopefully you will rise to the top of the resume and cover letter pile. You can go to my website, paralegalcoffeetalk.com, and there's some complimentary items there I want you to get, okay, while you're there. So go to paralegalcoffeetalk.com and look first for the Paralegal Inner Circle class info page up at the top, and get on the wait list. And once you sign up, you're on the wait list. I'm just going to send emails out starting either this weekend or early next week. We're in hurricane mode right now, so I'm going to see what I can do. And I teach through the email, okay? But it's also a reminder that the class is starting. But I will, probably, oh gosh, over the next couple weeks, I'm going to try to send out an email at least every other day. Okay. I don't usually do that, but it is right before the launch. So get on that. But while you're on my website, look for, thank you for saying that, Azriel. Thanks. I'm glad you got the book. For those who don't have my book and you're watching, you can get a free chapter on my website. Also, there's a list, 19 alternative paralegal careers. You need to get that list, because working in government or private law firms, those are not the only two options that you have. Even NASCAR employs a paralegal. So, and I live very close to the Speedway. So go there and get that list, the free chapter of my book, and also the goals journal. And what else can I tell you? But get on the wait list for the class if you're interested. The cost of the class is, scroll down to the bottom of the Paralegal Inner Circle class info page, and you'll see it in a graphic. There'll be a graphic there, and it'll say the price of the class. That's for approximately 50 videos with PDF downloads. The videos are not downloadable. The PDFs are downloadable. And a private Facebook group where we will have additional training here and there, but the bulk of the training is within the course, okay? But the private Facebook group is really good for asking questions. I have 2 classes running right now where people enrolled in May and June. In my May class, 3 people. Should you quit a certain college classes? Will that get you in? re-watch this video and watch many of the videos that are on my channel here. Okay, educate yourself, take notes. That's my mantra. Take notes. And while you're watching my videos, write down, brainstorm while you're watching. Okay, look at the 2 playlists I created here. One is for the types of paralegals, or many more than that, but it's tip of the iceberg. But educate yourself in that way as much as possible, and then hit it with everything you've got. Okay, don't be discouraged by ads that you see in the paper. There's more than one way to get in, okay? More than one way. There are attorneys who don't care one iota about degrees, and there are attorneys who love it, okay? So you have openings there, but you have to know the right way to communicate what you know. And right at this point, you don't have the legal knowledge that will translate to what they really want in most cases and what they need. And the attorneys overall are not going to teach you. I did have a mentor who was a teacher at heart, 2 mentors in the first job. I felt totally blessed that I had that, but that isn't the case. Never had that again at subsequent jobs. That was a wonderful way to start, but it is rare. So that's why I felt that I had to step up and put these videos up here for you. And there's almost 400 of them for you to get a lot of information from. Okay? And yes, people have broken in right from these videos here on the YouTube channel. So let me know, and thanks for your comments today. I appreciate them. Let me know in the comments below if you have any other questions. But there's a lot of good stuff on the website. There's some podcasts for you there. I don't think there's anything else I can tell you today, but have a great day, great weekend. If you're in Florida, hang tight. I'm hoping that the hurricane just stays off the coast and doesn't impact anybody north of us and just disappears. So I'm reading your comment. Yeah. Azriel, there are certain things we have to say in communication, certain things we have to know. And I was fortunate where I jumped in, but I didn't jump in as a paralegal. In my case, I jumped in as a legal receptionist, legal secretary. And I felt that I could handle that because I didn't know anything about legal. And within 7 months, I was in a full-fledged paralegal job. That didn't mean I had within me everything I needed. I didn't. I had a lot of confidence, but I still had a lot to learn. I say it takes anywhere from 3 to 4 years to learn enough where then you can trade off and start bumping that salary up. And watch the video here on the channel if you have not, about how I increased my paralegal salary. It wasn't by staying in one place and hoping they'll give me a humongous raise. They're not going to do that. So think about it as you're building a career for yourself that does not have a ceiling, a glass ceiling that cannot be broken. You have to look at it as a career that you're managing. Okay? And if you look at it as a 9-to-5er, that's what I want a mind shift to happen. Instead of looking at it as just a paycheck and a 9-to-5er and it's a dead end, it's not a dead end. And you can get that salary up, but you have to learn a lot in order to do that. Is it worth it? I think so. I think so. I built a reputation for myself in the legal field, but I also learned, and this is what you'll learn in my course, how to interview properly and the questions that you should ask in order to protect yourself, in order to work in a place. If you're not, join us in September. A lot for being here to you in the next live. Take care. Bye. Thank you so much for comments. Take care.